camps and is now cleaning up. And really, her farm is just showing that 450 gold a minute, and she is well up there, especially with the experience as well. So she is matching Malikan, cheek for cheek, level 14 each. They're about the same gold a minute. They're about the same experience a minute. So it really goes back to what you're saying. Two super farmed carries is going to be how this game is decided.
Yeah, and we see Malikan, and did you actually watch Malikan throwing out that sword and moving so the sword would actually fly back to him through the other creeps and killing the ranged creeps? Is it is really those little things that show great players, that show great carry players, that they know every little bit of optimizing your farm. Just those little things might seem just like a few seconds, but it really does help in the long run.
No, definitely he's been moving all around, picking up these kills a lot. He's at 158 creep score. We're only at 23 minutes and a half into this game. And I mean, as I said, them and Dark Lady are really just going cheek for cheek. Dark Lady kind of has the double stacked advantage. Malikan, however, seems to have the killing advantage. He just picks up another kill on Andromeda, putting him at 6, whereas only 1 for the Dark Lady. So I mean, they kind of going off to the different tangents, more of a farming aspect for Lady, who just jumps right in there with that completed Shrunken Head, trying to get that Slither. I do believe her ult just went off, and she's still actually alive and kicking, but no longer. Haig should be able to pick up a double, or no, going to eat an arrow to the face. And Tundra, and I mean, their whole team, this entire MILF team is just so low right now, but they're able to pick up 4 kills, going for the
Oh,
genocide
great play
on this
there.
Voodoo Jester, and using that birdie, that great eagle eye vision, eagle eyes, that's the word, eagle eye vision from up top, and really this Voodoo Jester is just holding out. That's not going to be a genocide, but all 5 heroes did die. So that's the difference there. That puts really MILF at a great advantage here at 13-7 for score, and the experience and gold advantage has skyrocketed after that fight.
Yeah, it definitely has, and especially seeing now Malikan really doing some great work in that fight, just putting out a lot of DPS. He's so hard to kill when he's in his ultimate modos. Well, if you want to call it ultimate, and
His ranged mode,
being
yeah.
ranged, yeah, being ranged as well is just such a great advantage. And with the with not having to pick up a ruined axe, he actually, he can work out. He's picked up a Whispering Helm and a Shrunken Head, which give him great survivability. In addition to his himself being a strength carry, anyways, he's just really hard to take down. And we see a 5-second arrow coming onto Thunderbringer, but I don't think anything's gonna result out of that.
Oh, Malikan just got that token, and now he's going to be expending it as he basically sacrificed himself to take out that Hague. 5-second arrow, as you said, went down on Henry D, which was really, really fun to watch because it just went straight down. They had no idea it was there, and just by chance they run into Henry D. But yeah, that's another kill, especially on another carry for that Legion side. It's really starting to look almost one-sided now for MILF as they're doubling
Yeah.
in kills, and the experience and gold lead just went up, another bit. We do have this Malikan now taking top experience, top gold, and top spent money, and he does look like he have a warp cleft after that team fight. So he is just well on his way. One note about his ultimate, however, is to just go upon the Ruined Axe. His ultimate grants splash damage, especially level 16. 100% of your attack is splashed, which is even better than a Ruined Axe. And it's ranged.
Yeah,
So,
and it's ranged. Yeah.
yeah.
It is such a great ultimate, and it's glad to see. I'm glad to see Malakin being back. Um, and we talked. Well, I listened to a cast of Insane Rabbi a couple of weeks back, and Rabbi was like, he really hams MSI for putting up that Malakin because they were the first ones to reintroduce him, and because he had so many strategies worked out for him. Malik is just a great carry that especially works well in that trial lane, and due to the development of seeing trial lanes becoming more popular, he really has shown, and I think this game proves that he's a very viable pickup.
Well, very viable and very well used at any rate. Level 17 now, so far and above everyone else. So with a Warp Cleft, I only think there's one recipe with a Warp Cleft. That's Demonic Breastplate, isn't it?
Charged Hammer?
I don't see a Charged Hammer being very useful on a Malik.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, but yeah, I think the demonic breastplate makes a lot of sense on him. He puts out a lot of physical DPS, so the physic the -5 armor really does help him out. And the armor, he's a strength carry, and he's only got 15 armor, so you can also put good values to any kind of armor that he gets. And I think a demonic breastplate would be just a good pickup on him now.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what he decides to do. Just taking a quick look at the other Hellborn, Glacius has some magic armors, trying to stay a little bit alive a little bit longer, and we got a Gnome's Wisdom with, again, some magic armor picked up on Slither. Can't really blame them for wanting the magic armor. Thunderbringer, Hag, Voodoo Jester, and Miss Comet there, so that Andromeda. I mean, that's 4 heroes is dishing out almost pure magic damage.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. They're the Mystic Veils gives you a lot of survivability. Well, not a ton, but it
It
is very
helps.
noticeable. Yeah, it does. It does help a great deal, and especially against very magic heavy teams with strong nukers like Wretched Hag and Thunderbringer, it does help you a lot. It really does. Very sensible pickup there.
Yeah, Thunderbringer going with a tablet of command, so maybe we're going to see some great uses of that out of there. It's always great to see it used on an enemy carrier, just, jump them over the cliff or jump them into the trap, that kind of deal. But I don't think anyone can actually set up a trap other than jumping him into range of maybe a swap or a cursed ground. Could be a cursed ground. Nope,
Hmm.
not going to be a cursed ground. Voodoo Jester has 0 into cursed ground, so that will not be viable whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really Thundergon a very stand-up build picking up that portal key now. So they have a very good initiation going on their way there with Malakin and the sword throw. He's finished off his
Mm-hmm,
demonic
mm-hmm.
breastplate, by the way.
Yep.
Um, Malakin and sword throw and then ult. It gives you a very good initiation paired up with a Thunder ultimate, taking out an enemy hero for 4 seconds, going through. It is superior magic, so it goes through any kind of magic immunity as well. That is a good thing about very good for their team fight. And yeah, Milf really played well here. Their coordination has been very nice. Malakin just got his farm, and Malakin really needs some farm to work, but if he gets a farm, he can work extremely well.
And he is
So
working
yeah,
extremely well here.
yes, he.
I mean, I think there's only really been 2 fights that Dark Lady's been taken into, whereas Malakin's almost been there exclusively. 9 of the 14 kills are him. In goes Tundra with a portal key ult. Missed the arrow, however, from Valkyrie. A little bit of mistiming there. Tundra's going to go down for that. We got Bladed. Nah, it's not Bladed, sorry. That's just Malakin's ult. Out goes the Slither ult. And really, they're just picking up heroes left and right at this time. Who cares about 2 towers banging on you? Seriously. They're just kind of blankly ignoring them, but taking out the support for this team is now a 5-on-3 against Druidz almost inside their base, or at least on their doorstep, and that's not a position you really want to be in.
Yeah, and they're taking out a lot of disables as well. Basically, the main disables that that the Legion team have with Voodoo Jester and the Andromeda Stun. Now they have strong nuking power and the DPS from Dark Lady, who has picked up her shrunken head, and Rift Shot's level 1, so she's dishing out quite a fair amount of damage herself, but lacking the. It's always good to take out the supports really quickly because the support heroes often have great disables, slows, or stuns, and that really helps you out a lot in the team fights, and they're easy to take
Speaking
down
of stuns, a
normally.
4-second arrow landing on Dark Lady. She just ran right away from it, but she didn't deviate from her straight line, and well, the arrow caught up with her. There was enough time apparently for a Homecoming Stone into that mid tower before it went down, which brought in Malakin and Glacius. There was already a Slither there, but now that she's down, that is just really a good signal to go forward and start bringing these towers down, maybe even crack the base or just cycle up top for that last one. It's just not looking for Druidz good overall, especially after losing basically their hard carry to a 1v4 situation.
Yeah, and once again, coming down to the Valkyrie arrow, hitting that arrow, 4 second arrow, and then it gives you just so much time to pound on the hero. And Malakin being nearby, he can dish out so much damage at this point of the game. Yeah, and that is not what you want to happen at Dark Lady. Yeah, good. Well, Woody Jester goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Dark Lady is definitely in the very long run. She's a much harder carry than Malakin is, but at this stage, Malakin is just a lot more farmed, well, not a lot more farm, but he is more farmed. He has got more kills. He's harder to kill, and he contributes his team at this stage of the game just simply more than the Dark Lady does. And she needs to get some more farm. She needs to get those rift shots at 2 level 4 to actually be, and just, you know, at one point start taking out tons of heroes to, you know, bring your team back into the game. And if she gets taken out, that's just very, very
That's just
bad.
too bad, really. On that note, a question about the Dark Lady. She used her charging strikes to close the distance to the tower that she took out just before she died. Now, does that charging strikes actually achieve damage on the tower, or is she just really using that just to close the distance and try to get out?
Well, the point is that it does, I'm not sure about it, but it should normally apply to towers because she deals auto attacks, and auto attacks do work on towers. She should only deal one, though we only deals one on
Right.
every tower
Right.
target.
Whew, that was a
So she,
good lawnmower right there. She just decimated that entire creep wave. Okay,
yeah,
so only the one, but it should land one attack on those towers, so, okay, cool. Up top,
yeah.
however, is where Dark Lady is not, but there is an Andromeda. Another kill picked up here for Malakin, just really keeping him above that
Again, a
500.
nice arrow. Again, a nice arrow coming out. 5-second arrow, leaving no chance to Andromeda to get out of that.
Yeah, keeping...
Really, really just great play from that Valkyrie, doing what she needs to do. Really what defines a good Valkyrie player is hitting those arrows and getting around the map, hitting the arrows, giving your teams opportunities to get kills. And even though the Malakin player has done extremely well, also the Valkyrie player who's playing Valkyrie ESR is doing a very good job at what he needs to do right now in the moment.
Well, Milf overall is just so far outplaying Druidz to a large degree. I just can't help thinking, though, that Dark Lady's just been too passive in these fights, allowing too many fights to go down without her presence. Especially when you got that Malik, as I said, he's been in there for almost every single fight. He's up to 12 kills, and there's only 19 on the team. He has 5 assists. That means he's been part of 17 of the 19 kills, which really means he's up there, he's active, he's with the team. Whereas contrast to that, really, Dark Lady just goes off farming, she goes off jungling, she's just out of position, she gets ganked by herself. I just can't help but think maybe that's a really big deciding factor here as well.
Yeah, definitely. If your main carry, the carry that you like, does get taken out too often, she's not in the team fights where you need her to be, because right now she is a huge factor in that, putting out a ton of DPS, and she's not there. That really, really does let your team down, especially considering that the other carry, Malakin, is sitting at a kind of the same farm or even better farm. Oh, actually,
Much better for him.
much better. No, well, not much, much.
He's
Mm,
level 19 versus
he's
18.
level.
Has the extra
Yeah.
40 gold a minute, extra 60 experience a
Yeah,
minute.
he's sitting on a good lead, and he's been in every fight, helping his team out by a lot. With his ultimate, you know, the range is just so great that it gives you range actually when you ult, because that the factor that used to we all knew that a couple of months back or even weeks back, range carries were so much more popular, and we rarely saw any hard carries being played, and Malikan just makes up for that problem with his ultimate. He just says, okay, we need range, I'm range.
Well, speaking of ultimates, Tundra's ultimate did not really do him any well at all, as he goes down really quickly to a 5-player gank, and this Maligan is just going clutch and just destroying Druidz. He does eventually go down, first death of the game, but he's sitting at 13-1, and really everyone else so far can just clean them up. Look at Hay, got away by the skin of her teeth, and really that was just out of position. They used the Valkyrie ult to get up there, so I don't quite think they could see them coming, but they knew they were all there, and I guess Tundra was really the bait because it just unloaded everything onto him, and Milf was
Yeah,
able to
and
clean
then
up.
but did you notice how long Tundra actually stay? Not Tundra, but
Malakin.
Malakin was able to stay in there, and he does. He was hovering around below 40% of his health, and that is where Malakin actually wants to be in team fights, because his attack speed is increased so largely. 100 attack speed is really a major factor. It's nearly like as nearly as much as a level 3 Madman ultimate. Um,